At this point, it's really the time that everyone is looking forward to. I am going to turn the platform over to Maggie Saling, the Communications Director from Startup NV. Startup NV is the only statewide startup incubator, but Mrs. Saling also has a background of being a consultant in business, implementing, configuring, and operating systems. She also has been a trainer for Future Advantage computer education. So please join me in welcoming Maggie.
Thanks, George. And thanks for all your help planning since a year ago and being Master of Ceremonies today. I'm only sorry that we weren't able to do it in person as we had hoped a year ago. I also want to thank NV Energy for their sponsoring the cash prizes for our pitch competition today. We've been collecting applications since June, and we selected 5 companies to pitch today. What I find interesting is that we envisioned a competition for startups a year ago, and with COVID, we opened it up to existing businesses that have had to pivot. But we ended up with only companies that are brand new. So it's truly a startup pitch competition. Some of them have created their products already, and some of them are still at the idea stage. They're true startups, and I commend them all for taking this big leap. It's not easy to put yourself out there. It's very encouraging that for a first-year event, we have some great concepts to hear about. Carol Hines and I have been working with them on their pitches. They've made tremendous progress in the last week, and we sincerely want to be a resource for startups. Each company has 7 minutes to pitch. The guidelines were published on the website. They've been up there for 3 months or so. We also put the score sheet up there so that everybody would know what they were going to be scored on. And those have been out there for about 3 weeks. We've worked with the companies to make sure that they're covering the topics that they're actually going to be judged on. I have a timer. If somebody exceeds the 7 minutes, they will be muted, and then they will be told that they've exceeded their time. And each company will get 2 questions, one from 2 different judges. After the pitches and questions and answers, the judges will go to a breakout room where they can tally their score sheets and discuss the winners among themselves. During that time, Liz Goodgold will be back with us, and she'll be helping 3 people who volunteered to be guinea pigs to tell their stories, and then have Liz help them make them better stories. So let's get to the judges. I have to let somebody in right now. Okay. The first judge is not here, and unfortunately, she was representing Startup NV. So I've asked Donna Bath if she would mind stepping into her place, and Donna has agreed. We've heard a lot from Donna today. You know, she's with Silver Lion Farms. And Donna, would you mind coming back on and telling us what you did before Silver Lion Farms? Because I think you were very critical in your area.
Before I worked for Silver Lion Farms, I worked for NNRDA under Sheldon Mudd, and I was the Economic Development Officer for White Pine and Eureka County.
Okay, so you covered a lot of territory, and you helped a lot of people with their pitches and their business ideas.
Well, we try. We really do. Yes. I work very closely with Rich McKay. So, and he is a great resource in Eureka County.
Okay. Our second judge is Annabelle Navarro. She is a small business advisor and has been with the Nevada SBDC since 2014. Mrs. Navarro has a BS in physical education and has previously owned a fitness center in her hometown, Guadalajara. And in the Las Vegas area, she's owned several retail businesses. Judge 3 is Dick Bartholet. He's the director of the Osmond Center for Entrepreneurship and the Sontag Entrepreneurship Competition director. Dick was co-owner of Pennington and Associates and a founder at Summit Engineering Corporation. So he comes from academia now, but he's been in business prior to this. Judge number 4 is Jeffrey Sutich. He has an MBA from UNR. He's representing Nevada Energy for us. He's formerly an economist and global trade manager for the state and is with NV Energy as a business development advisor. He's also launched 3 businesses of his own. And our last judge you've heard from earlier today is Danielle Reese with the Audacity Fund and Audacity Institute. She's a serial entrepreneur who co-founded 2 CPG companies, and her experience in fundraising while female, sounds like that's a sin, inspired her to launch the Audacity Institute and Audacity Fund in Reno with Kelly Northridge. She wants to help underrepresented founders build thriving businesses. So there are judges. They have score sheets. They're going to be listening critically to the pitches, but let's get to them. Okay, first up, Jerry Lauder is with GL Innovation. Jerry, would you mind unmuting yourself, and you can start to share your screen when you're ready?
You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
We see your slides if you want to maximize.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Gerald Lauder, and I'm the owner of GNL Innovation. And I have created a product called the automatic battery interrupter. I also have a US patent on it and pending in Australia. As you may know, machinery operated by combustion engine or is battery powered runs a risk of fire. And the current safety system in place is a master switch that requires manual operation and is subject to human error. Aside from the safety aspect, an inefficient battery contributes to the loss of production and universal waste. GNL Innovation aims to reduce potential damage or loss of equipment, injury to operators, the potential for loss of production, and universal waste through the development of the automatic battery interrupter, or the ABI. The ABI automatically disconnects the power to a machine in the event of a fire. As a result of maximized battery life, the ABI also reduces the number of maintenance calls due to dead or faulty batteries. Because of this, batteries are changed less often and reducing universal waste. Shown here is a diagram of the ABI. This system provides a safe alternative safety system to prevent damage and eliminate electrical fires, taking the human factor out of the equation. The ABI is designed to automatically isolate machinery batteries in case of a fire, as well as during idle times when equipment is not in use. By isolating the battery automatically, this removes the electrical spark that potentially started the fire in the first place, extending the life of the batteries and equipment, and creates a safer environment for the operator. In 2019, the global mining equipment market size was valued at just over $144 billion and is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 12.7% over the next 7 years. Nevada, our serviceable obtainable market, brought in $7.9 million in revenue in 2019 and is expected to grow. Our initial target market for the ABI is companies who use mining equipment, either surface or underground. With further development, we plan to target auto manufacturers of vehicles utilizing either combustion engines or battery power. This product will also be marketed to farmers, farm equipment manufacturers. GNL Innovation, well, I'm sorry, I missed my script on this one. Basically, this is showing product sales over the next 5 years, starting with our potential 20 units sold the first year, 100 units the second year, 250 units the next year, 500 the next year, and 1,000 the following year. The ABI is new technology, and we are challenged to break into the market to introduce this unit to the mining industry to show the benefits. Our current competitors include reactive methods such as fire extinguishers and fire suppression systems. Fire extinguishers, obviously manually requires someone to use it. The fire suppression systems, there's 2 types. There's one that is manually activated, and there's an automatic system that monitors to set off the fire suppression system. Both are also require costly maintenance, yearly maintenance, yearly inspections. So I've been an electrician for 27 years. After working in and around heavy equipment and observing different issues along the way, I saw a need and created G&L Innovation and invented the ABI unit. Just under a year ago, I teamed up with Megan Gardner and Keegan Quintana to work the marketing side of things to gain exposure for my product. I've self-invested $150,000 personally to start up and development of the ABI. Currently seeking $100,000 financing to expand G&L Innovation LLC. With the addition of outside funding, we will be able to develop additional product concepts and expand to a broader market. This expansion will enable us to produce all unit types quickly and on our larger scale. The financing will be used for manufacturing, engineering, marketing, along with the legal and insurance fees needed to expand. G&L Innovation has an active website available for prospective buyers to view, order, ask questions, and see how the ABI system works. The website is a convenient and informative portal for potential customers to contact the company directly. The per unit set price for this product at this time is $10,000. This chart, when ordering, customers will pay ABI directly per unit with a turnaround time of 4 to 6 weeks. The company will be reaching out to potential customers through expos.
Jerry, can you hear us? We lost you there for a bit. Sorry for that technical difficulty there. The last I heard, you were talking about how you were planning to reach your audience. You were at a price of $10,000 and you were going to reach your customers how?
Reach my customers through expos, trade shows, and directly to the mining companies, through distributors, or through the website itself.
Okay.
Like I say, all sales will be tracked and completed through G&L Innovation directly through the website or by phone. So please feel free to contact us for any further information. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jerry. Good job. You're going to get questions from Donna and from Annabelle. Donna, are you ready to go?
I am.
Okay.
Thank you, Jerry. I didn't know I was going to be a judge, so please bear with me. One of the questions that I do have is, have you reached out to companies like the mining company, and have they been willing to let you install this and see if it would work on their equipment?
I've actually got a mining company that or a distributor I'm working with in another country, and they're working with a mining company in their area, starting in January to implement this system. They want to put it on a couple pieces of their gear and run a 3-month trial to test it out before, and then off of that, moving forward, what their plans are as far as contract to do other machines at their mine.
Okay, thank you.
Annabelle, go ahead.
Hi, Gerald. How you doing?
Good.
Okay, so I have several questions. So you're the inventor of this this device, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you want to be not only the invention, but you want to be the manufacturer and the distributor too?
Well, right now it's just the three of us trying to get this going. I'm looking for engineering, a company to work hand in hand with to engineer and develop this. Obviously, mining is not the only application. Like I say, it can move into vehicles, basically any kind of equipment that runs off a battery, whether it's combustion engine, battery powered. There's safety potentials and processes for each of those applications.
Yeah, because do you have any idea how much money it will cost to do the branding of your product?
No, that I do not know.
It's a lot of money.
The process that I've been going through, doing each step as it is.
Yeah, because you try to do the 20% for marketing is 20,000. So to do the branding will take so much money from that. And do you have already a prototype?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I have I have one that's in Canada right now. It's going to be going into tests on a unit up there. I have run tests on machines here in Nevada with one other company. Every time something comes out or new innovations, it takes trials to make a better product. And from the trials that I've ran previously, I believe I have it dialed in where I need it to be.
All right. Yeah, because do you know the pricing?
Yes.
Okay, so you know the prototype price, and then you will know the final price for your product?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, there's going to be things down the road, other manufacturing, the engineering, like say marketing. So yeah, this is where I've got to so far in my journey by, like I say, self-supporting this.
All righty. So you're gonna produce your device in different parts or Nevada? How are you gonna manufacture that?
Well, right now I have the ability to manufacture the ones I have in a certain quantity, obviously as demand requires, getting bigger, and hopefully to employ people from the area. I'm in Elko. I've lived here the last 30 years. So I'm hoping that, I can establish here and start manufacturing here.
Perfect. All righty. Donna, you have another question?
Thank you, Annabelle. That's all for Jerry. Jerry, thank you for pitching. Next up for pitching, we have George Skivington with Goat Shells. So George, go ahead and unmute and start sharing your screen, and I'll start your timer when you start talking. Hi, George, I see you, and you're sharing. So start whenever you're ready.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is George Skivington, and I am the inventor of the Goat Shell, a telescopic, hard-sided camper shell that allows you to adventure with ease. Packing up to go camping, have you ever found yourself in a situation similar to the one pictured? You take hours packing up your massive trailer with what seems like all the possessions you own. If your answer was yes, don't worry, you're not alone. Many people take far too much when camping in order to be comfortable. At the end of the day, though, the struggle of moving around all their gear takes the comfort right out of their camping experience. In order to be truly comfortable when camping, you need to simplify things. This is where the Goat Shell comes in. Introducing the Goat Shell, a lightweight, hard-sided pop-up camper shell that allows you to adventure and camp with ease. Simply clamp it to the bed rails of your truck and you are ready to hit the road. Picture on the left is the Goat Shell in the raised position. This allows you to have 6 feet 6 inches of hard-sided headroom while camping. On the right is a depiction of the Goat Shell when it is in its lowered position. This lowering action allows for better fuel economy and off-road capability when traveling. Two must-haves when you're adventuring off the beaten path. For those adventurers who might want a little bit more headroom, Goat Shells also offers a cab-over option, which gives you 8 feet of legroom for sleeping. Here are renderings of the cab-over option in the raised and lowered positions. Some important features of the Goat Shell include a lightweight composite panel and aluminum construction, which allows the shell to be extremely strong and durable. Another amazing feature is the 6 feet 6 inches of hard-sided headroom the shell provides when in its raised position. This raising action is accomplished at the push of a button through the use of electric linear actuators inside of the shell. Another amazing feature. Now, let's get into the important stuff, the market. As you can see from the depiction, there are approximately 40.5 million campers in the US as of last year. Out of those 40.5 million, about 27.7 million of them chose to camp in their vehicles. If Goat Shells were able to acquire just 2,000 of these people as customers, the company would be extremely profitable. Let me explain. The price for a base model Goat Shell would be around $6,000. The cost to build a shell is approximately $3,000. Subtracting build cost from base price, we get an estimated gross margin of $3,000. Multiplying that by the estimated serviceable attainable market of 2,000 Goat Shells gives us a potential profit of around $6 million. That is a lot of Benjamins. Also, keep in mind, as the company continues to grow, gross margin will ultimately increase due to economies of scale. We can't sell the goat shell though if we don't first get noticed by potential customers. In order to get the attention we deserve and secure customers, goat shells will utilize several things such as social media, overlanding forums, email, and our website. By doing this, we can easily reach out to potential goat shell customers and start to build a clientele for our amazing product. To give you an idea of how much something like the goat shell is going to cost, the standard base model, which will fit mid-sized trucks, will be priced at around $5,500, while the extra large model, which will fit full-size pickups, will come in right around $6,000. Very economical prices considering the crazy going rates of competitors. Additions such as extra windows, lighting, custom colors, etc. will cost additional money on top of the base price. These prices are yet to be determined. As you can see from the matrix above, goat shells provide several things that its competitors don't, such as push-button setup, fully insulated XPS panels, sturdy composite construction, a very economical price point, and an extremely lightweight design that doesn't require upgraded truck suspension. It's because of these things that the goat shell is the obvious choice when in the market for a hard-sided pop-up camper shell. Another thing to note is hiatus campers, the closest competitor to the goat shell, has such large demand that you can't get one till May 2022 if you order with them today. While goat shells is still in a very early stage of startup, it already has traction in the market. In order to see what kind of interest there was in something like the goat shell, I went onto Expedition Portal, the largest online overlanding forum, and started a thread which contained my goat shells pitch and asked people if they would be interested in buying one when they go into production. The response was insane. In just 7 days, 31 people said they were interested in buying a goat shell, and over 1,811 people viewed the page. And remember, this was just in 7 days. You now may be saying to yourself, this all sounds great. What kind of people are on the goat shells team? Well, as of right now, it's just me. This will change over time though, as the company continues to go from an idea to reality. So why am I the perfect person to lead a company such as Goat Shells? Well, over the last summer, I have camped out of the back of my pickup truck almost every weekend. I do this so I can see beautiful places, run many miles of trail, and bag every mountain peak in sight. If you look at the picture to the right, you will see my red 2004 Tacoma equipped with a high-rise camper shell next to my friend John's Sprinter van. This was just one of the many camping adventures we took over the summer. Because of these adventures, I am essentially an expert truck camper. And one thing that I found myself wanting time and time again was more headroom. This is how the idea of Goat Shells was born. A lightweight pop-up camper shell that allows you to have 6 feet 6 inches of headroom when popped up. No, I am not a business major, but what I do have going for me is my immense knowledge about truck camping and the truck camping market. Ultimately, I am here asking for $1,000 in prize money to turn this crazy dream into reality. If I do win, the $1,000 would go towards building the first prototype in the winter of 2020 out of my garage. After this is done, a testing stage will occur in 2021 where I take the prototype up into the rugged mountains of northeastern Nevada and put it through the paces. Throughout the testing phase, design changes will be made till I have a product I am proud of and comfortable letting out onto the market. This is when I would seek additional funding. Thank you everyone for taking your time today to listen to my pitch. My contact info is up on the screen and please reach out to me if you have any questions. Also, I challenge everyone to embrace your inner mountain goat and get out into the mountains this weekend. Thanks again.
George, that was perfect on your timing. You had 5 seconds left. So
Sweet.
it seems like you've done a lot of rehearsing, and that's just what Liz would tell you to do. So good job.
Thank you.
Annabelle, you have the first set of questions.
Yes. Well, George, you did a magnificent job explaining your idea. You made me smile. You made me dream. And I want to go mountain. Well, so during the first stage of the idea, it's a lot of things that you have to think about, like market research, how much it will cost you to produce that little device. I think it's a magnificent idea. And I visit the website of your competition that you Right, it is the company is Howling something that you put the one that you put in your idea. So the market is like a 13,000. So why is it so cheap? Yours like a 6,000, half of the price of them.
So the reason why it's so cheap is just due to the fact that a hard-sided pop-up camper shell, there's only one on the market, which is hiatus campers. And so essentially, since they're the only ones on the market right now, they can charge a crazy price for their product just due to the fact that no one's on the market. So essentially what I would want to do is undercut them and take away from their customers.
Why do you think they are overwhelmed? Because they seems like until 2022 they will see you place an order. Why do you think there's a problem? What is the problem for them?
So there's just that's how much interest there is in something such as a hard-sided camper shell. Just the incredible interest, and also due to the fact that they're the only one on the market right now. That's what causes the May 2022 wait list. This has been seen, like there's other soft-sided pop-up camper shells that use a tent fabric, and same thing with them. Their wait times are all like 1 or 2 years before you can even get them. So the market's it's booming right now.
Okay, so well, I have like 3 or 4 questions, but Donna, do you want to ask something?
I do. Thank you so much. And that's a very interesting product you have, and I'm happy to see you're going to be in northeastern Nevada. It's a beautiful area to be in. I noticed that on your presentation, you said that you were looking for the $1,000 prize money. Is that going to be enough for you to build a camper shell?
So right now, based off of projected costs of materials, all of which I can locally source, it's gonna run right around $1,500. And the whole reason why it's gonna be that cheap is due to the fact that it's gonna be a rough prototype, and also things such as the windows and stuff. I already have them. So the $1,000 will get me most of the way for building costs, and then additional money. It'll probably end up costing around $2,000. I'm gonna invest my own money into that to build the prototype, whatever extra is on top of the $1,000.
Okay, and have you done an in-depth business plan? Do you have one of those?
Not super in depth yet, no.
So you don't really have a projected cost on marketing or legal fees or starting up your business license?
No, it's just in the very startup phase right now.
Okay, well, I wish you the very best. I think it's great.
Thank you guys for your time.
Yep, some of our founders are really at the idea stage, but George really embraced the whole process of creating a pitch deck and things that he needed to learn to be able to present to you guys today. Dick, you were supposed to have a question for George, so George, don't run away.
Well, I'm pleased to hear the progress you are making, and doing that first vehicle that people can not only see your drawings but see a prototype makes a big difference in getting into the market. Have you estimated at all what kind of capital investment will be required to have a production facility where you can crank out more than one unit at a time?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm in this very beginning stages, but man, I would estimate that to be a very large price to obtain a building that can put out more than one a day. Man, probably around $250,000 at bare minimum, I would say.
Okay, the reason I ask that is when you are anticipating what your pricing is going to be, you not only have to think about what your material costs are going to be going into the unit, but amortizing those capital costs. So that's just a general word of advice. In terms of the competitors and their pricing, is there any way for you to have an estimate of what their profitability is? My experience is that when you see what the competitor's pricing is, if you're going to have something that is equal value or better, you don't want to typically come in significantly cheaper. So my question for you is, other than wanting to be cheaper, did you do any other analysis for coming up with your proposed pricing?
So, as you guys probably know, anything in like the outdoor industry related product, such as like, let's just take, for example, sleeping bags or like tents or whatever, there's always a huge markup on items like that. Not really because of the how much it costs to build them, but just due to the fact that they know people will pay that large amount of money because they just want the product. So same thing with my competitors. Just due to the fact that there's very little competition, the markups on these products are huge. I mean, you look at like Hiatus campers, for example, and they're charging for their base price $13,500. And when you look into the build quality and the materials that are going into it, you don't calculate it to be that much at all. So the markup's just huge. So that's just one reason why I want to undercut, is just to steal business from all those competitors.
Okay.
Thank you, Dick, and thank you, George.
Thank you.
So I'm going to give the judges a few minutes to finish filling out their score sheets. I did just receive an email from Lisa Song Sutton, who was supposed to be representing Startup Envy, and the judge who is missing today. But apparently she's got a good excuse. Her father passed away, and so she was just at the funeral. So we'll forgive her. She wished all of the competitors good luck, and she apologizes for not giving me any warning. The next pitch that we're going to have, I'm gonna dance for another minute or so for the judges. The next competitor is Gary Hines. He's with Watec, and so if you want to start getting your slides together. So Gary, whenever you're ready, you've got full screen.
Okay, can you hear me all right?
I hear you just fine. And so when you start talking, I will start your timer. Go ahead,
Okay,
anytime.
Very nice. My name is Gary Hines. I'm the inventor of the cryothermal desalinator. It's supposed to help with the problem of climate change, droughts, overpumped aquifers, and the reasons just go on that we have less and less fresh water. And so the problem results are, of course, worsening freshwater supplies and handled by many outdated technology to combat the problem for potable water. So the solution for this cryothermal desalinator is to use a fire and ice approach, meaning that I use liquid natural gas as a fuel and a coolant. And so the rationale for that is that it's better to lower about 1/3 of the raw water that goes into this desalination process to about 28 degrees rather than raising 100% of the raw water to 212. There's an amazing savings there in efficiency. So you can visualize yourself a generic thermal desalination plant. You have raw water going in, it's heated, you liberate the water vapor and make potable water from that. And then you send the brine back out to the ocean. That's typically what happens. So what I do is I use liquid natural gas in several places. And so I have minus 260, by the way, that's a typo there. Better condensation. I can reduce brine discharge. I can produce ice from brine, oddly enough, and I can reduce scaling. And this is why cryothermal desalination can beat the pants off of other thermal desalination technologies. So the market, as you can imagine, is global, and we're dealing with a commodity, a life-giving commodity. So people will have to spend money to make that water. That's primary. And so the global market is about 3.5 billion gallons a day. And the target market that we can just talk about today, since we obviously know Middle East has water problems, that's about 1.9 billion gallons per day. And so what we think we can do is, at least initially, get 2.2% of the Middle East market. And in the smaller print down below, it says that the desalination is growing by 15%. So that's an encouraging number. And so the business model basically is a technology royalty. I effectively have 3 patents, which means that I have 2 utility patents already granted, a third in the works, and I have a provisional patent covering what I'm doing today. And so that we're looking at new builds and retrofits as a business model, and selling to dry nations with LNG import offloading terminals like in Australia, India, Israel, even Japan. Japan has the largest desalination plant in the world operating right now. And you'd think with Mount Fuji, they'd have plenty of water. So how do I reach the market? Well, that's the process that I'm trying to set up a desalination prototype, because mathematical modeling and heat rates can only do so much. So a demonstration prototype is primary here. And then with that information, I can go to the various water conferences. So on pricing, it's 7.7% per meter gallon. And you'll see that this juvenile drawing shows a floating desalination unit with LNG coming in from another boat, and it's sending the water to the city. And what I want to tell you about this is that right now we're looking at deep water ports that can support exported liquid natural gas. But this process here, if you can float that desalination on a huge barge, then you don't need the deep water port. So that's effectively a new market beyond what I've described already. So retrofits, sales projection is in the Middle East basically, but there are lots of other countries that need desalinated water. And this is why a prototype is so important. It'll give more precise potability numbers to present at water conferences. And so we need to compare apples to apples. And that's why a prototype is fundamental. So on the competition side, you notice on this screen, the top 2 basically are thermal desalination type units, And if you go follow that to the right, you will see that they average about $1.44, $1.40, we'll say rounded off, for 1 cubic meter of water, which translates into 264 gallons for that price. And this is a
So Gary, I'm sorry, but you exceeded your time. It's kind of a difficult topic. A lot of people are not familiar with desalination. So the first questions for you go to Dick, and I'm going to hopefully unmute you now or ask you to unmute.
Yeah, I'm unmuted.
Thank you, Dick. Gary, you need to unmute too, so you'll be able to answer the
All right,
questions.
thank
If you
you.
want to go to your last slide with your contact information, that'll allow our audience to capture a way to get in touch
That's
with you.
disappointing. I'm sorry. It's just such a big topic.
Yes. Can you advance to your last slide?
Well, I don't know why. I can't. Okay, there it is. Well, there's team and last contact.
There. Yeah. Let's leave it on this for a little bit so people
Okay,
can copy
thank you.
down some contact information.
Sure,
And
thank you.
now, Dick will ask you a few questions.
Okay,
So very interesting topic. I'm interested, Gary, when you talked about developing the prototype and doing the testing, sort of, and that accomplishes a couple things. It's validation of your proposed technology, as
Yes.
well as collecting information about the financial viability of what you're proposing. What I'm wondering is, have you approached any potential partners to work with to do that vetting? And I'm thinking of either universities or independent labs or other entities in this area to work with you to establish a prototype and do some testing.
well, what I've tried to do is to apply for government grants, and I've done that for the last several years. And because they all want cost sharing, and so I've been turned down because I'm just an individual and I'm not a really going business, although I have a license and I have a vision for selling, but I have not been able to crack through the U.S. market government process. Right now, NAWI is asking for ideas, and I've submitted this idea to them, and they won't report back until January 11th of 2021. And I'll know then if they like it.
Okay.
And to follow that, they have just the cream of the crop for desalination people that know what they're doing. So that'll be a real important decision they make for me.
Okay. The other thing I was going to mention, I don't know if you've looked at this at all, but there are a number of entities that are looking at desalination of other than seawater, brackish water.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge amount, there's way more brackish water in the world than there is actually fresh water.
Sure.
Have you taken a look at that at all and how
That'd
that
be-
might change things?
Yeah, I do. And so one of the things that I do, Dick, I use liquid natural gas to separate a cryobrine from ice just like nature does in the Antarctic. And so that is upstream, the raw water coming in. I can separate out brine from ice. And so the process there helps with the bad pollution that the raw water coming in would have to has as constituents in the water. So beyond what they do pre-treat with chemicals, I'm actually able to cryo pre-treat and separate the bad up front, and actually with that ice separating out into the raw water, I can minimize downstream scaling. But you think about the River Ganges and things like that, it's very important that we have something that can augment current pre-treatment of the raw water.
Okay, Jeff Sutich with NV Energy, you have the next set of questions for Gary.
Okay.
Hi, Gary. Nice to meet you. This
Nice
is
to meet you.
an interesting topic, and could be great timing with LNG prices dropping so much and the U.S. now exporting it.
Yes.
These other countries can start to afford it. So very could be great timing for you.
One of the problems with that is we have so much gas here that the U.S. is a poor market. But I understand what you're saying. Thank you.
So did I see on one of your slides that the cost of your CTD system is $500K?
Yes.
Correct? Okay. My question then is, how does your price point compare to your competitors in these other countries that you're planning to market the system to?
That's for the prototype. Is that what you were asking?
Yes, or your final product, even,
Well,
if you know those numbers too.
The final product, I'd have to play off of what the prototype looks like. And I priced out used vessels, heat exchangers, and couplings and pressure capable connections. And so that's all I've done to this point is do enough for a prototype. And I'm sorry I don't have a better answer than that.
That's fine. Is there time for more questions?
How about one more question, Jeff?
All right, and then I'm assuming your customer is going to be other governments. Is that correct, or are you planning on targeting private sector entities that have these desalination facilities and try to get them to retrofit them?
Well, it's interesting because in the Middle East, all of the sultans and potentates are in government are generally in charge of the private side of desalination. And so it's a mix in some places, but I'm guessing that it would be mostly private, but I have no problem with working with other governments.
Very good, thank you.
Sure.
And Gary, I would encourage you to read the chat. There's at least one question in there for you that you can answer publicly.
Thank you.
There.
I will, thank you.
Okay, our next presenter is going to be Joshua Peterson with the Little Rider Foundation. So you can get yourself ready. Thanks for stopping sharing, Gary. To help our startups prepare for this pitch competition, we did several months worth of education. This was in the form of live office hours when they could come and talk to us about any of the topics that had been videoed and put on YouTube. So any founders out there that would like to go through the same education can go to YouTube. If you look up Startup NV, there is a playlist for the Rural Nevada pitch competition. And if you take them in order, then you will be covering most of the information that we've asked our founders to put in their pitch decks. Okay, Josh, you want to do full screen? Okay, are the judges ready to hear a new pitch? Danielle,
Hello.
I can see you. You can nod. Okay, all right. Josh, let me get the timer going and you can start whenever you're ready.
Alrighty, hello everybody. My name is Josh Peterson and I am the founder and director of the Little Rider Foundation, which I created to provide every child the chance to ride a bike. The problem we are facing right now is the rise of mental health issues, and this relates to physical health and a sedentary lifestyle. We're seeing an increase in depression, anxiety in children and teens. Another factor of this is due to the increased screen time with electronics and especially with the new social distancing we're all facing right now. This is vital for ages 2 to 5 and kindergartners. That's when they're in their early growth stages and they should be outside being active, playing several times a day. And the solution to this that the Little Rider Foundation has provided is a fun-filled educational start to life on a bike that builds gross motor skills, self-confidence. It builds strength, coordination, and improves focus. It's an exercise the fun way. And most importantly, it takes out the scary part, and it's an easy transition to pedaling. Market for bicycles and the market that we're looking to reach is 25 million children in the US. Our serviceable available market is 213,000 children under the age of 6, which is 11% of Nevada. And out of that, 23% of the Nevada children are in poverty, which means they don't get access to bikes. They don't have the means or sometimes the parents to even take the time to teach their kids to ride a bike. And we all know the joy of riding a bike, I'm sure. Our serviceable attainable market is about 10,000 children in the Washoe, northern Nevada area, which is 2 to 6 year olds. The average age children learn to ride a bike is 7 to 8 years. So there's a big gap, and especially in the early development stages where we can get kids outside being more active and focusing on the good. The business model I have is projected for 21 and 22 year. Fundraising is probably one of our biggest intakes of revenue. We are going to partner up with several businesses in the area that will help us provide fundraising and hopefully some grants as well through the government. The event entries, we plan to provide fun, active events for kids to come ride with other like-minded individuals. We plan to project about 100 to 200 participants at each event. And this is for the West Coast market, I would say. Our classes, we plan to get into daycares, learning centers, other community organizations, and provide classes to teach these 2 to 6 year olds how to ride a bike. And that is where we will generate most of our income. We also have costs associated with this, and that would be our administrative and overhead, the cost for the events, and also donations that we plan to provide to the community, like outfitting the less advantaged kids with bikes and helmets and classes. Our competition is very slim. There's only a few of us doing this. We have the Rider Learning, which is based in Hong Kong. They provide educational classes and events to the community. They're partnered with Strider Bikes. Strider Bikes is basically the inventor of the balance bike. And they've sold over 2 million balance bikes since they started a few years ago. London is our other competition, and they do the same as Hong Kong. They are for profit, and they are providing educational classes and events to the community, and they are also partnered up with Strider Bikes. The only other person in the US that is providing these classes is the All Kids Bikes organization. They're actually Strider Bikes educational division, and they are a nonprofit providing bikes for kindergarten PE curriculum. And they host fundraisers to provide bikes and gear and a curriculum to selected schools in the districts. And I have also became a brand ambassador for all kids bikes to help reach the PE and kindergarten classes as well. And then that brings us to myself, which is the Little Rider Foundation. And we are a nonprofit providing educational classes and events to the community. And we have also partnered with Strider Bikes, the #1 balance bike in the world. Our traction, we started this, it's kind of from conception and manifested into reality. It took about a year. I pulled the trigger in August 31st. I announced my first event with the Hub Coffee downtown Reno in the beautiful location right next to the river, all based off of Facebook. We just social media sponsorships. Our first one, we got 11 participants and 5 followers on Facebook. I was optimistic, you know, we were gonna double that, and we sure did. In a matter of 2 weeks, we got 25 participants and over 100 followers on our Facebook now.
So Josh, you ran out of time. Would you like to advance to your last slide? Great, okay. Let me unmute you. Or you can unmute yourself. There you go. Okay. So the first questions go to Jeff Sutich. I'm sorry you didn't get to finish, but
Oh,
your
it's
slide up
okay.
in case people want to contact you.
No, understand.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Hi, Josh. This is Jeff Sunich. Thank you for coming
Hello,
and
Jeff.
participating today.
Thank you.
My first question is, are you a nonprofit or are you a for-profit entity?
I am a nonprofit.
Nonprofit, okay. My next question is, are you solely targeting the Washoe County market to do these services in, or are you planning this to be a national entity?
I plan to make this a national franchise. I would like to grow this because there's many communities and states that there's just nowhere for these for the Strider balance bikes to ride other than the sidewalks. So
Okay.
providing a fun, safe environment with like-minded individuals, I would like to grow it across the nation.
Okay, and then my last question is for your event. How many students need to participate for you to make a profit on that, or to cover your costs at least? And then what is the price point per kid to participate?
Well, for the events, which, so the first events we had, they were free. We provide free events. That is to get the word out there. Now, the competitions and events would be priced at $20 an entry. That would also, and we project to get about, probably have 4 of those a year and gain about 200 participants per event.
Okay, thank you.
Danielle, you're up next. Danielle Reese with Audacity Fund and Audacity Institute. Please go.
Great. Thanks, Joshua. Appreciate the presentation. Did a great job. I was curious, you said that the primary competition here in the US is another nonprofit called All Kids Bike. And I was curious how your nonprofit is different, or what distinguishes the Little Rider Foundation from theirs.
Well, they just focus on getting bikes into schools for PE curriculum for kindergarten. That's all they focus on. There's no other events or sanctioning or providers for events for the Striders, other than Strider bikes themselves. And they hold 4 events a year in major cities. And that's kind of where I got my idea from. Is my son is 4th in the world on his little Strider, and their events that Strider brings out over 14 countries and over 500 participants. But no one else is doing that, and it's only held 3 times a year.
Great, thank you. My next question is, if you could tell us a little more about your team. Are you a solo director, or do you have other team members, and what are their skill sets?
So I am a solo director. I do have help from my girlfriend, who is a psychologist and a counselor, which she just has been kind of the backbone on helping me, pushing me to do this, because you know, if I didn't do it, I couldn't prove to myself that it can be done. And also just my son, and I know that he's not really a team member, but when we do have these events, he's kind of, I don't want to say he's a show off, but he definitely encourages the other riders to get out there and ride, and that's what it's about. We've our first event, we had a little girl there that wouldn't even touch her bike, and by the end of the event, her parents couldn't get her off the course. So that's what it's all about.
Great. And then I guess my last question, in looking that you're providing free events, it seems that the pricing would mainly come from the competition, the $20 per entry, and then you're looking at a mix of donations. I guess I'm curious if you've looked into corporate sponsorships, or you know, who your key funders might be in terms of partners from daycare centers you mentioned. If you could just elaborate a bit more about that.
Well, of course. So I Ubered for the past year and a half, and I met a lot of people networking. And for example, Boys and Girls Club, Children's Cabinet, schools, those are all the organizations that I want to work with to provide the opportunities to get children on the bikes. And daycares, you know, we plan to charge, I would say, $10 a child for a daycare to provide an hour-long course to teach the children how to ride a bike. And if we did that, you know, 2 to 3 times a week, 52 weeks a year, that's where most of the revenue would be coming from, aside from donations and the fundraising and the events.
Okay, thank you. That's okay, Danielle. All right, we have one more pitch, and so I'm going to give the judges a few more minutes to finish their tabulations for this last pitch. Up next is Bruce Crater with New Products Tech, and after that, the judges will be adjourning to a separate breakout room, and they will work together to come up with the winners. And during that time, I can see Liz is back, and she's going to be helping 3 candidates to go over their stories and improve them. So first, she's going to help George, who just presented with the goat shells. He will be her first guinea pig. I don't see the faces of any of our judges now, but have you guys had enough time to finish up the scoring for Josh Peterson?
I have.
Okay. All right, Bruce, would you like to get your deck ready? All right, Bruce, can you unmute yourself?
I will. Good afternoon. This is Bruce Crater from New Tech Products, and we have the Tidy Oil Changer. This is a new device that is going to solve a major problem with mechanics, backyard mechanics, oil change shops, and also automobile agencies, the government mechanics that change oil. There are many, many. Changing oil is a dirty job. And as you, many of you may have already changed oil or seen it done. The Tidy Oil Changer is a transparent device that's about the size of a large coffee cup. There's a 6-inch extension, ratchet extension that goes up through the Tidy Oil Changer. The reason for it being transparent is so that the mechanic can see exactly where he is putting the socket on the plug, and that this confines all of the oil flow so that as he undoes the plug, that he doesn't have the drip coming down on his hands as he would with a wrench of this sort.
I'm over now.
And
so.
he can control the volume and the velocity of the oil that's being drained. This just being a catch pen in my demonstration device. But anyway, we have 2 patents on the product, and we have we're in the process of the international patents. You can see here that the device itself is a better view of it. And it also has magnets at the top that it can attach to a steel oil pan, such as in trucks or in construction equipment. Our major market, our initial market, I should say, and our major market are the auto parts chains. We will wholesale to them on a business-to-business transaction. And each of these 6 major chains has over 5,000 stores. If they sell only one of these per week in each store, that's a very large number. That's 270,000 units a month. We are not able to reach that volume at the beginning because of the overhead in parts inventory. You can see here some of the savings in using our device, the savings in shop clause, the savings in the mess, in the shop, and the cleanup. After, there's a lot of savings in this, and it's much more convenient and much more desirable. The price to the auto parts chains is $24.50. In this, we have about a $14 gross profit. And I'm sorry, that's a net profit, because the cost of our units to build them is $10 or less. As we increase the quantity that we produce, we're going to get down to somewhere around $7.50 area in our cost. That includes all of our overhead, including personnel, cost of our facility, and the cost of the parts inventory. Our first year's sale, we anticipate that we can very easily sell for 450,000 units. This will give us a gross income of 11 million, and our net will be, and this is a bottom line net, a net of 6,500,000. This is a very high profit item, and our competition is very limited. It's limited to the socket wrench and the socket end wrench. There is no other device on the market that is even similar to this. Our second year, we anticipate that we're going to increase our sales a great deal because of the profit that we have coming in. We will be able to afford more inventory to handle a greater volume in sales. And we anticipate it will be up to about 76 million in our gross sales.
Call from +1700225123002.
Shut up, telephone. Anyway, sorry for the interruption. Our TAM, which is for the US, there's about $62 million in auto parts sold each year in the United States, or 62 billion. We will only be in a small portion of that, but we do feel that here in the United States, we'll be able to hit, in 5 years, we'll be able to hit the $54 million area. Our first year, we anticipate being able to sell within the $15 million area. We have already developed our production facilities, our production tables, everything that we need is designed and ready to go. The only thing that we need is money for the inventory, the purchase of the inventory. As CEO, I've tried to find the best people in the area for my marketing and for my production. I need people that I can work with closely. Brad Gilmore is excellent with sales. He has 10 years experience as manager of O'Reilly Auto Parts. And Wesley Stumbaugh will be my production manager, and he has much experience, 15 years of experience in management and inventory. We are seeking $2.5 million simply for the purchase of materials. Setup and manufacturing is already completed, and this is the, we just need to create the initial inventory. And we, once again, we thank you for your time and listening to me. I'm available at BC Mail anytime. My telephone number is 702-275-0800. And I'm sorry that it doesn't show here. Thank you for your time.
Bruce. Okay, Danielle, you have the first set of questions for Bruce.
Great job, Bruce. I appreciated your presentation. I noticed that you had a significant increase in the second year, and I was curious what your plan was and how to bring this product to market.
I've already made initial contact with suppliers and their purchasing agents. The response is excellent. They say, we don't have anything on the shelf like it, and we can certainly sell more than one a week. My initial startup, the reason it is so low is because of the cost of the parts inventory. And even with the $2.5 million, I need to reduce my purchases of inventory because I have to take into consideration the time lapse for accounts receivable. That's my greatest holdup. If my accounts receivable, if everyone is happy to pay me within 10 days, which they probably won't, then of course my initial production will move up much quicker.
Great, thank you for that. And then my follow-up question regarding your manufacturing. I was curious, you said that you had that all set up and ready to go. Are you manufacturing within Nevada or are you overseas?
Yes, everything will be manufactured in Nevada or a state nearby. Very possibly I will do my manufacturing in Oregon, but my main sales business will remain in Nevada. So the income will be coming into Nevada. I have a great deal of experience in manufacturing. I did consulting for ISO 9000 certification. So efficiency is number one in my aim in the manufacturing. And I have designed this manufacturing to be very, very simple. 4 people in a single production line can produce 4 units per minute, giving me about 250 units per hour. And in an 8-hour day, we will produce. And that's in a very simple production line. And I've also designed my facility so that I can have multiple lines of production as my market demand increases. Each line of production is extremely inexpensive. It cost me to set up a production line, it cost me about $250.
Thanks, Bruce. We're going to move on to the last questions for this competition, and they'll be posed by Donna Bath.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. One of my biggest questions, I guess, is this reusable product or is this a one-time only product?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, this is reusable. However, we, in the marketing, I've considered the fact that there's going to be a certain amount of replacement on this because mechanics always drop tools. They back over them with a vehicle or something of that sort. So there may be some replacement. But this is going to be purchased and it is a reusable product. If it is maintained properly and they're careful with it, it will probably last them a year or 2. However, we can't bet that mechanics are going to be that careful with them. my market is so extremely large. We have all the government vehicles, we have all the bus lines, we have airplanes that have to drain oil from their engines, just many, many uses for this product.
Donna, did you have another question?
No, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Bruce.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you, Bruce. Good job. In fact, I'd like to commend all of our presenters. Y'all did a great job. Having timing issues is pretty normal when you're first starting to do this pitch thing. It's hard to keep within your time frame, especially when you're very excited about what you're talking about. So you answered the questions with poise and with passion, and it came through in what you were saying. And that's what we want to see in Nevada entrepreneurs. We want to see people who are dedicated to making their companies work. Okay, so Jeffrey Sutich, our representative from NV Energy, has the list. I don't know who's won yet, so it's going to be all news to me. So Jeff, if you're ready, I actually will take one more opportunity to thank all of our sponsors, and that includes NV Energy, the SBDC, Northeastern Nevada Regional Development Authority. Go, Ed. And the rest of us have all contributed time and effort. So Jeff, take it away. Drum roll.
Hi, this is Jeff Sudich, and I wanted to first thank everybody for all their work and effort in making this this pitch day possible. I'd also like to call out Maggie. She kept all the cats in order and put everything together and made this all happen. She was the behind the scenes genius in all of this. So really appreciate all of Maggie's work on this. NV Energy is also very proud to be a partner and contributor of this Rural Pitch Day. It's awesome to see this type of event that's been done in the Reno area and the Vegas area, now hitting rural Nevada. So excited for that. On a personal note, I'm also really excited for this event because rural Nevada is very dear to my heart. My family's been in Nevada for 7 generations, and I grew up in Spring Creek. So I love seeing all these brilliant minds from rural Nevada showing their grit and becoming entrepreneurs and starting these new awesome businesses. I'd also like to thank all the participants for putting themselves out there. This is a big step that they're taking and showing these business ideas and exposing it to the world. Appreciate all the speakers earlier on, and all the coaching and advice that they've been giving to all these participants. This is a great program, and love to see how these business plans will come out and how these businesses do. So with all that, I would like to congratulate our 3rd place winner. That would be Jerry Lauder with GI Innovations. Congratulations, Jerry. Can't see my picture, but I'm clapping also. Our 2nd place winner, I would like to congratulate George Skivington with Goat Shells. Congratulations, George. I don't know if the audience of choice award's been announced yet, but I have it on my notes to announce the audience choice. That goes to Bruce Crater with New Tech Products. Congratulations, Bruce. And now for the 1st place prize and winner of the first Nevada Rural Pitch Day competition, please congratulate Bruce Crater with New Tech Products. Bruce, this also gives you the opportunity to enter into I think it's Startup NV's larger pitch competition where you can potentially win up to $200,000. So congratulations on that and good luck on that next competition.
Thank you, George.
Thank you very much,
Jeff,
everyone.
would you mind reading the other prize that goes to the 2nd place winner? I don't recall hearing that.
I didn't. Let me look that up real quick. So the 2nd place prize is Founder Doctor, which is a startup package of $1,500 value from Audacity Fund out of Reno. So that'll be a great coaching opportunity for you.
Very good. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you for sponsoring the prize money. We're at the end of the day, and Maggie, do you have anything to add before we leave?
The only thing that I have to add is that like 45 of you stuck with us almost throughout the whole day. And this was a long day. So we really appreciate it. And we hope that there were a lot of connections made today, a lot of resources made available in the chat so that we can all grow Nevada together.